Imagine this with me for a second. You finally hit retirement age. The decades of grinding, those early morning commutes, the strict deadlines, the demanding bosses, they are all finally behind you. You did it. But then you log in to check your bank account on that first month of freedom, and there's only one source of income lighting up the screen: a single monthly check from Social Security. No pension, no massive savings account, no stock portfolio, just that one government check. It's a pretty stark picture, right? And for a lot of folks, it's a sudden, terrifying reality. Okay, let's dive into this because this is the ultimate reality check question. When that single stream of income is literally all you have, can you actually survive? And more importantly, is it possible to live comfortably, or are you just scraping by? In this explainer, we're going to use the hard data to break down exactly what happens when Social Security is your sole financial engine. We'll look at what life truly looks like on that budget and, the options you still have if you find yourself in this exact situation. Section 1, the Social Security reality. To really wrap our heads around what a Social Security-only retirement looks like, we first have to ground ourselves in what this program actually is and what it was originally built to do. Let's get into it. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the math paints such a stark picture. Social Security is a government-backed program funded by the payroll taxes you've been contributing to your entire working life. But here's the absolute critical truth. It was never designed to be your complete retirement plan. It was built to be a foundation, a safety net. For most people, it's only meant to replace about 30 to 40% of pre-retirement income. Think about that. That leaves a massive 65% missing income gap that you are suddenly responsible for filling. Let's make those percentages a bit more concrete. Say you were earning $60,000 a year while you were working. You'd probably expect your lifestyle to remain kind of similar once you retire, right? Well, because of that 30 to 40% replacement rate, you might only get around $18,000 to $24,000 a year. That is an immediate, brutal slash to your budget. Everything you do, your entire lifestyle, suddenly has to fit inside a mere fraction of what you used to make. Section 2, the math of survival. Let's shift from the theory of replacement rates to what the average retirement actually looks like when those checks start hitting the bank account. $1,800. That translates to $21,600 a year. Let that stark figure sink in for just a second. I want you to think about your monthly expenses right now. Your rent or mortgage, groceries, keeping the lights and the heat on, putting gas in the car, paying for health insurance. In almost any city today, trying to cover all that with just $1,800, it makes things tight. I mean, incredibly tight. And because that math is so unforgiving, retirees living solely on this income are forced into taking some immediate, strict actions. I'm talking about incredibly rigid budgeting. They have to avoid debt like the plague, because honestly, a single credit card bill can derail the entire month. They cut out non-essentials completely. There is absolutely zero room for spontaneous travel or a sudden emergency. A lot of times they actually have to rely on additional support systems, like family subsidies or community assistance, just to make the basic math work out. Section 3, fixed incomes and hidden traps. You see, managing a strict budget is really only half the battle. Let's look at the uncontrollable external forces that threaten this delicate balance. And the contrast here brilliantly illustrates the real pressure cooker of retirement. On one side, you've got your fixed income. It doesn't budge. But on the other side, you have your expenses, and they are anything but fixed. Prices just relentlessly rise over time thanks to inflation. Rent goes up, utilities fluctuate. You end up caught between total inflexibility on your income side and this relentless upward climb on your expense side. Here's a thought that perfectly captures the intense psychological stress of this situation. Living on Social Security alone often means living month to month, even after decades of hard work. The tension builds because, well, life is completely unpredictable. When the transmission on your car gives out, or the fridge dies, or you have a sudden health issue, there is absolutely zero financial cushion to absorb that shock. Every single unexpected event basically becomes a major financial crisis. Which brings us to the biggest hidden trap of the whole shebang: healthcare. Even if you qualify for basic public healthcare support, those late life out-of-pocket costs are no joke. We're talking doctor visits, daily meds, ongoing treatments, dental work, vision care. The critical problem here is that these medical costs almost always outpace the tiny, incremental adjustments made to your Social Security checks. Because those costs rise way faster than their income, retirees are forced into these dangerous, nearly impossible compromises. We're talking about delaying necessary medical treatments, or reducing medication usage, like literally cutting pills in half to make a prescription last longer. Sometimes they're even forced to cut basic life essentials, like healthy food or heating, just to afford the care they need to stay alive. This right here is exactly why experts constantly warn against relying solely on this program as you get older. Section 4. Survival versus comfort. So with all these traps and budget constraints, we really have to address the core question directly. Can you actually survive? The short answer? Yes. But, and it's a big but, only under certain strict conditions, like living in a very low-cost area, owning your home outright, and having exactly zero debt. We really need to separate two very different realities here. Survival means having basic food, basic shelter, and minimal expenses. Comfort, on the other hand, means the things most people actually dream of when they think of retirement. Travel, hobbies, having emergency savings, true financial freedom. The hard truth is, most Social Security-only retirees live firmly in that survival column, far away from the comfort column. Now, it's also super vital to understand why people end up in this situation. It's very rarely just someone failing to plan. It's often a mix of systemic issues and sudden uncontrollable hardships. Think about a lifetime of lower wages, or working for employers that simply didn't offer pension plans. Maybe a sudden medical emergency in their 50s completely wiped out what little savings they had. Or they experienced a job loss late in life that left them with absolutely no time to rebuild their wealth before retirement age hit. Section 5. How people make it work. Despite these massive hurdles, people do manage it. So let's shift gears and look at the actionable playbook that current retirees are using to successfully navigate this difficult lifestyle. Let's walk methodically through how this builds into a true survival strategy. Step 1 is almost always downsizing, packing up and moving to a smaller home or a significantly cheaper region to drastically lower those baseline expenses. Step 2, ruthlessly eliminating all debt. No credit cards, no loans, period. Step 3 involves finding creative ways to supplement that fixed check. Step 4 is leaning on community and family when things get tough. And step 5, this is the big one, is exercising an extreme, unwavering discipline where absolutely every single dollar has a designated purpose. Nothing gets wasted. I actually want to pause and highlight that third step for a second, supplementing income. Because you know what? It doesn't take a massive second career to fix the math. Even a very modest supplemental income, say $500 to $1,000 a month from a part-time job, freelance work, or a small home business, can completely transform the situation. It literally takes a budget from perilous and constantly stressed to manageable and stable. It finally provides that little bit of cushion for when things inevitably break. Section 6, the most important lesson. All right, we've looked at the math, the strict budgets, the hidden traps, and the survival playbook. So, what's the grand takeaway from all of this? So, the crucial point is this. Social Security is a safety net. It's designed to provide a foundation to keep you from falling into total poverty, but it was never, ever meant to be a complete plan for a comfortable lifestyle. Relying solely on it severely limits your freedom, and it leaves you highly vulnerable to those rising costs of living and healthcare. But hey, knowing this now, that gives you power. Even small savings, modest investments, and a little early preparation can completely shift your future trajectory back towards stability. Ultimately, retirement shouldn't just be about stopping work, right? It should be about gaining financial and emotional freedom. So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to reflect on. What kind of retirement do you actually want? And knowing what you know now about the math, what exact steps do you need to start taking today to build it? Think about it.